So student, today we'll have to study about acid, base and salt. As you know all, the acid, which is a Latin word, come from acer or acidus, which is known as what? Which can be anything sour in taste. Sour in taste. If any material sour in taste, it is considered to be as it is a type of acid. Or we can say the sour in taste material. If it tastes something, if it is sour in taste, then it is said to be what? It is acid. As you name about these type of a material which can be sour, so you can count it on your finger as well. What are these? These are lemon, amla, orange, then the other one, curd, vinegar, whatever it is. They all are having which type of a taste? Sour taste. If the material having sour taste, so that one is called as acid. Suppose it is acid, so what will be the base? In just regarding to that, we will discuss about what is the base. So the base is the material actually. Base is what? Base is nothing. It is opposite that of acid. That means if any substance which is bitter in taste, that likewise whenever you taste, it feels like bitter and it feels like what? Slippery to touch. So that is called base. Example of base, example of acid we can write down against these. The acid, as we know, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, acetic acid, CH3COO, oxalic acid. There are the number of acids and there are base. NaOH, CaOH twice, FeOH thrice, and AlOH thrice. These are all about bases. So what will happen actually when we are talking about the acid? So acid are, in another word we can say, which can produce H plus ions. What are these? Which can produce H plus ion, that is hydrogen ion. What would be the acid? When it is dissolved in water, it can produce H plus ion. If it is produced H plus ion, then only it can be said what? Acid. If it is produced cation, also it is called as cation. Why? Because it can produce H plus ion. And if it is produced OH minus ion, if it is produced OH minus ion on dissolving with water, when we dissolve acid into the water, likewise acid, it is water. When we dissolve HCl, what will we produce? There is H plus and Cl minus. As H plus plus OH minus, this will form again H2O and HCl. Got it my point? If we introduce what? the water into the acid, when we ever introduce water into any acids, what will form? This will form H plus ion. That indicate there is acid present. If there is acid present, so might be 100% certain there is H plus ion get produced. Now next one, if we dissolve any bases into the water, what will be happen? What will take place? The formation of OH minus ion, that is hydroxy ion or hydroxide ion. What it is? Hydroxy or hydroxide. And this one is hydrogen. What it is? Hydrogen. And this one is hydroxide. What it is? Hydroxide. If the hydroxide produced, then it is a base. When we dissolve bases in water, if it is produced OH minus. OH minus is what? Hydroxide. OH minus is what? It is a hydroxide. It is an anion. Then it is what? It is a base. If it is H plus ion, H plus ion means the hydrogen ion. Then it is a what? Acid. So whenever the H plus ion produces, will form acid. If it is OH minus ion, then it is said to be what? Basis. So very clearly about that two symptoms. First is if it is taste sour in nature and produces H plus ion, when we dissolve into water will produce H plus ion. This is called acid. The base is what? The bases are those that can having bitter taste and slippery in nature. What is the difference in acid? Acid are corrosive in nature. Acid are corrosive, but the bases are slippery in nature, are slippery in touch. So the bases are that can produce OH minus ion on dissolving with water, as well as this can have bitter taste and can slippery in nature. So the very basic important difference in between the acid and bases. So what is mean of type of acid? What is the type of acid? There is a two important type of acid. What are these?
Mineral acid and organic acid.
Mineral acid and organic acid. So we'll talk about acids, types of acids. What are these types? Mineral acids and organic acid, or also called as natural acid. Why it is called so the natural acid? Why it is called natural acid? Because it can be obtained in our nature. As you know, there is a plant in which the lemon get produced. So it is what? It is a acid, and this is come from a natural. So it is what? It is a natural acid or organic acid. We know there is a vinegar. Vinegar is produced by a plant. This is a plant product. So it is what? It is also a natural acid. There is another acid which can produced by a animal, which is called formic acid. which is come from the ant is in Latin word called as formica. So the acid derived from this particular type of a insect, which is ant, that is called as formic acid. So ant in Latin name called as formica. The acid derived from called as formic acid. So the basically, what is the difference in between the mineral acid or natural acid? Sorry, the mineral acid and organic or mineral acid. So first of all, mineral acid. What is mineral? Mineral is what? Mineral are those that can be obtained from the earth crust. That is called mineral. And the acid which is made by these minerals are called as mineral acid. Simply, we can say mineral acid are those particular type of acid that can derive from the earth crust. So these acids are what? This is called nitric acid. This is called sulfuric acid. What are these? The nitric acid and sulfuric acid, as well as hydrochloric acid. These are all in the form of why? Because there is a acid formed by minerals. These acids are very useful for what? For different uses. As we know, the hydrochloric acid is used for clearing the floor, and nitric acid is used for clearing the gold and silver, and as well as sulfuric acid is used in the batteries. Sulfuric acid is used in of vehicles, and there is a battery in a vehicle, and there is another form of acid which is called natural acid or organic acid, like tartaric acid, formic acid, acetic acid, citric acid, carbonic acid, malic acid. All these are derived from malic acid. We can derive from malic acid, which is made by apples juice, which is derived from apples. So it is known as malic acid. The acid which is can derived from the ant, which is called as formic acid, as well as the acid which can be derived from the methane. Methane is what actually? Methanoic acid. It is a gas which is naturally evolved from the nature. Why this gas is called as in which that there is a methanoic acid present. So it is called as methanoic acid, as well as the oxalic acid we can get from spinach. So spinach is what actually the natural product what we have used in our daily life. So this one is called as oxalic acid. So these are the different type of natural acid or organic acid, as well as some of the mineral acid. So the question is there is a different type of a acid? So what is there is a different type of a bases or not? Are there a different type of a bases?
Yes, sir.
How many types of bases? The bases can derived are divided are classified into different types. Two types. What are these?
Strong and weak.
Strong base and weak base. So on that particular basis we can say there is a weak acid as well as the weak base. The strong acid as well as the strong base. So what are the weak acid and weak base? What are the strong acid and strong base? So on which we have to discuss the strong acid as well as weak acid. What is the weak and strong acid? Weak acid. What is the weak acid? Weak acid is actually what? In which dilution increases, or we can say there is low concentration of hydrogen ion. Clear? If there is greater amount of water added, so it will be the weak, or we can say the lower concentration of H plus ion, hydrogen ion. So it is a type of weak acid. What is the weak base? The weak base. There is dilution of water. That is, dilution increases in such cases as well. In these cases, the dilution increases. The dilution increases. So the concentration of lower concentration of what? Hydroxide ions. If there is a concentration of hydroxide ion is lower, then it is weak base. So what in terms? The strong acid and strong base. The dilution decreases. That means concentration is higher. Then it is strong acid. When there is dilution decreases, and concentration will be higher. So that one is called strong base. But one thing is there. What is the formula? What are the examples? So example of the strong acid is hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, and sulfuric acid. And what are the strong base? Strong bases are NaOH, KOH, CaOH twice. These are strong base. So what is weak acid? We say, what is the example of weak acid? Example of weak acids are CH3COH. These are malic acid, oxalic acid, citric acid, whatever these acids are. Weak acid. What is the weak base? Weak bases are ammonium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, ferric hydroxide. These are all the example of weak base. These are all about my topic. We'll discuss more on the next day. Thank you.